I can't keep my eyes off your face. Let alone talk about your body.
Hey, it's Kimmy from According to Kim and Co. Tune into our show every Saturday from 6 to 7 at DematrixStudios.com.
Packed house. Damn. Look at all my beautiful black people. Hey, y'all. Hey.
What up, what up?
And DJ Celsius is in the back and Reem is over there somewhere.
Yeah.
So I want to go down the line
Yeah.
and kind of introduce each other. Say your names and how long you have been together. Starting with the Traps. You can take the mic, Kwanda.
Oh, I'm Kwanda, and this is
Trevor.
and we've been married for 15 years.
Oh,
Damn.
wow. Damn.
That's older than me.
Nigga.
Not really.
Instagram don't even got 10 years. Damn.
Hold it. No, you gotta go ahead. You can take that next.
So my name is Shimon.
Shimon, get the mic.
Sorry.
Shimon.
Yes. Yes. My name is Shimon. This is my husband Cedric, and we've been together for 9 years.
Okay.
Black love.
Oh, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, Eric. Clap it up, clap it up.
Black love.
Keep it in. Next.
I'm Nafisa, and this is my fiance Kabir, and we've been together going on 2 years.
Yeah.
That black love. Next time I do this next year, me and my boo gonna have like a good 8 months in. I promise you. I promise you. So I wanted. This is a question for everybody. There's gonna be some questions that I'm asking just for a specific couple, but this question I wanted to know was, how did you guys meet? Because Tinder, like I said, ain't it. And I just want to know where y'all met. Go ahead. Let's start Traps.
We actually met in a club. Well, it was a lounge. It wasn't a club. It was
Oh, now they want to get classy.
Yeah,
It was a lounge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen,
Okay.
The lounge.
we met in a lounge, Two Eyes, which
Eyes.
is no longer there, but that's where we met.
Okay. And what about you guys?
We met on blackpeoplemeet.com.
That's what's up.
No,
That's what's up. That's what's
no,
up.
we didn't. We
That's
did
what's
not.
up. They said they went on Black Planet.
We didn't, Kimmy.
What's up?
Let the record show that we met at Dayspring Baptist Church
In the
in
church.
Hallelujah.
We're just on New Year's.
All right. The Lord brought them together.
That's what's up. Hey, Lord
Okay.
Jesus.
And what about y'all? Where y'all met?
Why don't you talk?
We also met at a lounge.
Oh my God.
That's what's up.
I be at the lounge all parched. Don't nobody be trying to buy me a drink. What am I doing wrong? What were you guys doing? Were you pop locking and dropping it? My two-step is not getting it? Like, I don't understand. What were y'all doing?
I actually didn't want to be there. I had an attitude. And
He swagged the situation.
yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
swag the situation. That's what's up.
So we got 2 married couples and we have a couple that's engaged. So I want to know, at what point in the relationship did y'all have that aha moment and you know, okay, this is the one?
Word. Not this year, but from the beginning, yo. Like I really knew, like that was it. For real, dead ass. I'm not even gonna front.
Really?
Yeah. I tried to buy a drink. She walked away from me. I'm like, yo, yo, how
She
you
didn't
doing?
want your
How you
drink.
just gonna walk away? I tapped a friend. A friend was like, yeah, you can buy me a drink. I ain't want to buy
See,
you a
that's
drink.
probably it. I'm probably the friend that's mad parched.
Nah.
That's probably why I'm still single. I'm looking at
Nah, go get your girl. Go
Cranberry
get your
vodka,
girl.
please.
Right. Go
Yeah,
get your
okay.
girl. Go
All
get your girl.
Oh, so
That's
pretty
what
much
I'm-
she did the hitch move on you, pretty much.
I don't even know what that. What's the hitch
No.
move?
Yeah,
When he
but
told
in
her
the movie-
when he told the girl in the movie, yo, go get me a beer, he walked away. So she did the reverse roll on you.
I never even seen that movie.
Oh, damn, pimpin'.
So how'd you guys? So when'd you know?
Oh, you don't want to talk?
She already told. She wants you to say.
Hey,
when y'all-
listen. Like I told my wife, when she was like 7, 8, 9 years old, she came to my church and she was singing "His Eyes on the Sparrows," and I said that girl gorgeous.
Why
So a
should I
few years
feel
later, I tried to holler at her,
discouraged?
and we had history ever since. So
Aw.
That's what's up.
God, I gotta go back to church. I hope I don't burn.
No.
I hope I don't
We
burn
don't
on my
need
way
you going
in.
to church, Kimmy. We don't need you going to
shit.
church.
Sizzling and shit. Go ahead. Yes, I definitely need
This is
Kabir to
what's
answer
up.
this
The
one.
ladies are like,
Yeah,
fellas
because
first.
no.
This is what's up. This is what I'm talking about, son.
I think for me it was actually similar to their story. I think when we left, when we met, she had sent me a text message just checking to see if I got home, and I think right then and there I kind of knew that it was.
Aw, she was all concerned about your well-being.
It was true because I had a long drive back home, but I think for me that was the moment that I knew.
Aw, So it was immediately. Oh man, and I just sent a text to old boy talking about you ain't call me all day. He ain't the one. He ain't the one.
No,
He ain't the one. The shit
Have
wasn't
We call this one for the
in the deepest.
Oren, touch it one more time. I swear, you thought I was Hitler last week. It's gonna be. You gonna give me some of this money back? Goddammit. Anywho. Messed up my whole damn line of thinking. I want to talk about the proposal. Let's start with the most recent proposal. It's fresh
from the
newbies. How he proposed, Neffy?
Let him tell it.
Oh, damn. Don't look at me, brother. Hey. I ain't messing up. I ain't getting you on the count. No.
Trying to do no work here.
Just tell it.
You might as well tell the story.
Just tell it. Just tell it.
All right. If you went on your knee, you went on your knee. Hey.
No, I think it was actually pretty funny because she'll sit here and swear up and down that she knew it was coming, but I'm pretty sure that she didn't. We went out to dinner at Texas de Brazil, which is a Brazilian all-you-can-eat steakhouse. We kind of it was approaching the anniversary of when I first asked her out. So I had a bunch of friends of mine, a close friend of mine, setting up the house. In the dining room, had cleared it out, had 2 tables, had a cake made, blacked out the screen, had some purple lights, had a violinist playing.
Can I marry you?
Baby!
Damn, bro. All that.
brother.
Can I marry you?
Damn, brother. You done put
I can't
pressure
even
on
get a
me.
2 for 1 at Applebee's.
I want a divorce. Marry me.
He going first too? Damn, what I'm gonna do?
Divorce.
Damn, bro.
I can't tell my story after that.
I just got a salary increase. Damn, man.
I would have said yes too.
Damn.
Why they said marry me?
So we had I had a photographer there, so pretty much I pretended like the garage wouldn't open. We walked in the front. Of course, I knew something was going on. Opened the door up, and the first words out of her mouth when the violinist started playing and my friend came down with the video camera was, "What the fuck is this?" Literally.
So she's on video.
Literally on video, screaming, swearing.
And you showed this to your parents. Got edited.
They gotta edit it before the kids see it.
Okay.
And
good,
there was
good.
there was a sign that we had made that said "Welcome to Serendipity." Serendipity was one of the restaurants that we went to.
I remember Serendipity. I got to Serendipity.
A very nice restaurant. So that was sort of the theme and the mood. Got down on one knee. The interesting or funny thing about the whole thing was I actually had the ring facing me, so I was proposing.
I saw the picture.
So listen, it
was nerves.
We saw that.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Oh, okay. I was like, no, but it was that's kind of how it took a while. It was something that was being planned, and I had a bunch of good friends that were able to help in putting it together.
Everybody.
Yeah, it was
good job.
That's what's up.
Now, the interesting thing with the Rice clan is that
That's us.
they were married, got divorced, and got remarried.
Oh, that's gangster.
Last year or the year before that? Last year?
Last year.
So they've been remarried for a year. So I need to know, did you have to re-propose?
It was more of a discussion as opposed
Like, let's
to
do this
proposal.
shit again, baby. So let's talk
Yeah,
about
like,
the first proposal then.
Okay, the first proposal wasn't as intricate as my man over here. But I did get the, down on one knee thing, propose to my wife, and
Where were you guys?
I was in her living room.
Oh. Intimate.
We were watching a movie. Back then, there wasn't no Netflix and chill. There was just.
What was the movie? Back That Ass Up 22, or was it something a little classy?
You're gonna get me in trouble, Kim, because I do not remember the movie.
Oh, so in other words, I'm leaving it alone.
Hey, I thought we were friends here, guys.
Yeah, we are.
So the first time I did propose to my wife, I did get down on my knee. I was kind of an egotistical maniac back then, so I was kind of like, I'm on my knee. You'll marry me, right? So anyway,
that's real romantic.
Nah,
real romantic.
I'm joking. But last year, we more discussed it as opposed to from proposing. We said, we are more mature now, and we're gonna do it the right way. And so we discussed it, and we decided to get married on the same day that we got married the first time.
Same anniversary.
Exactly. Make it easy for me. Because guys have trouble remembering dates.
Okay, come on, the veteran couple. Let's hear how you did this.
See, what happened was
tow truck. Took the
we
car.
was in we was in South Beach. I was twisted.
Oh man. Hey, your wife must be real happy. Huh?
I don't remember nothing. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. It's a joke. So it was we was at the pool, and there was this couple about to get married. I was like, "Yo, bro, you throwing your life away, man. What the hell you doing? Don't do it. Don't do it." He's like, "Nah, I love her, man. I love her, man. I love her." I'm like, "Yo, you bugging. You're bugging. Don't do it. Don't do it." About 3 hours later, we on the beach just walking, and the moon is out. It's looking real sexy out there. I'm like, damn, this is dope right now.
I might as well.
The mood hit me. I'm like, damn, I ain't have no ring. I had nothing. I'm like, you know what? I don't need no ring to propose. Who needs a ring? I got on my knee, all in the sand and all that. I have a sandy knee, you know. I asked her to marry me. She like, whatever, son. Stop playing. You joking. I'm like, yo, ain't nobody joking. I'm dead ass serious. You got me on my knee. Talk about, stop playing. I'm serious. Marry me.
Oh,
She was like,
I had no ring either.
But it wasn't until the next day when he told his grandmother, he called his grandmother and his mother. I was like, oh, I think he just might be serious.
He's serious.
He came back to the room saying something.
she was down in South Beach with us, man.
I ain't sure.
I think so.
That was a good trip. That was a good trip.
So I with social media, with everything so accessible nowadays, and the dating sites and everything like that, it's a little more difficult to date today. That's why when I hear Neffy and Kabir's story, I'm like, it still happens. It's just far and few between. So I want to know if anybody wants to answer this. What do you think is the biggest detriment in dating today, especially in the Black community?
I'll answer.
Go ahead.
I just think people settle for less. People want what they want, but then they say, you know what? For this feeling, I'll settle for less.
And I think it's higher expectations. I think, not just women. I think the expectations are too high. I think with all of the reality shows and social media, I think people
I want some red bottoms and some Remy.
And that's
Forget about that.
You see all of these reality stars, and you want that life, and then you set yourself up for these expectations that are not realistic. Okay. And then when you meet a guy who potentially can do something for you, but he doesn't work, or he's not making six figures, then you're looking at him sideways because you want, not you personally, but you want those red bottoms. It's just not, it's not realistic.
Okay.
I think part of it is patience. I think what we all lack in society today is patience, right? You got to be able to wait for something. I think one of the things that I see a lot, and the group of my friends are all married. The thing that I see is that you got to be willing to build something with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's very rare in society today that somebody's already made it or above the cut. Right? You have to be willing to build something with somebody, and when you find somebody that's patient enough to be willing to build with you, then you've got something. I think that's what we probably lack the most, is the patience.
The patience. And you want to know?
What's your name, brother?
I'm guilty.
Kabir. Can I piggyback? Okay. What you saying? I do have a lovely wife. Sorry that you out there listening, but he's right though. Patience is true. When my wife married me, I didn't, I wasn't the ideal guy that she wanted. But when you have a woman in your life that motivates you to be, the person that she wants you to be, that you want to be, you push forward.
You'll get it together, and you slowly transition to that man that she deserves and needs.
Deserves, especially.
Okay. All right, well, I know that I'm a little bit impatient, so y'all touched on some things. Y'all
Preach
me
to the
out.
choir.
You know what, Reem? We do not need you over there ad-libbing. Okay, so this question is for the newbies. You guys dated for a little over a year before the proposal. Did you guys, at any point, did you think it was too soon? It's time for you to answer. He's been answering.
Yeah, good looking. Good looking.
He dropped some insight on
No, I think neither one of us thought it was too soon. I mean, I think, we're both 30 plus. So I'm 30, he's 35. Uh-huh. So I think when we first got together, it was sort of like, I'm not about to play games here. And if your intentions are something different, you know, I need you to go left.
Okay.
And he was pretty expressive with his expectations and intentions as well. So we knew that from the rip, you know, if
that
this is what we want to do, and we're going to put in the time, the effort, have patience to be able to build one step at a time. So when the proposal did come, it was not something that was totally unexpected, no matter what he says. The way he did it, yes, was unexpected. But you know, I knew that this was the direction that we were going in. So yeah.
Alrighty. So, my seasoned crew. What do you think? No, my seasoned. What do you think ultimately caused you to divorce, and what brought you back together?
Ooh, my wife will answer that.
There we go. We were crazy, y'all. We were cray. And
wild.
We didn't want to listen to each other. Both parties thought they were right all times, no compromise. Just going in two separate directions and skipping off while we did it. Mm-hmm. Just neglecting our responsibilities, totally not thinking about what it was doing to. I have 2 kids, so this is my Joseph, so he's taking on my kids. But definitely not seeing that, and I think that just us. We were divorced and we were not together for 5 years before. Yeah,
that's a good break.
That's a good little while before we got back.
Nobody was starting too much during that time.
I don't know, Kim. I don't know.
Kimmy, really?
I don't know. I was still at the church.
Really?
I don't know.
Kimmy, really, Kimmy?
Once again, you're trying to get me in trouble.
Yeah. Good
Leave
job.
me alone.
Good job, Inspector Gadget. Really?
Yes, I was there. I was still at the altar. I don't know what he was doing, but
She prayed for me. That's very important, though. She prayed for me.
Well, thank God. After what Kimmy said, sheesh.
I'm sorry. So what brought you guys back together?
Actually, my son said to me one day, he said, "What's going on, Mom? Where's Seti?" I said, "Well, Seti moved. You know, we got a divorce." He said, "Well, you divorced Seti, but I didn't divorce Seti." And I broke down. That was like the most, like, it was hard. So I called my mother-in-law and I said, "Listen, I know he probably don't even want to hear from me, but what's his number? Let him know I'm going to call, but it's for Dewan, not for me. This is for Dewan." She said, "No problem," gave me the number, and he took the kids that one summer, and then after that it was a wrap. It was a wrap.
Baby, come home. Come home. Okay. So, all chime in for this one. How important do you think sex is in the marriage or relationship?
Extremely important.
Okay. Very.
What? Can I answer? How long do I have to answer this question?
Come on!
All right, listen. Very, extremely, highly important.
Thank you for that.
Simple.
Okay, what if you guys are not on the same wavelength initially? Like,
Then it's your job to get on the same wavelength, brother.
okay. Sex is important. See, I thought I was crazy.
No,
Well, you know.
listen. The physical attraction is okay. The mental attraction is okay. But if you don't have that something to gel you together at the end of the day, at the end of the night.
But it should be more than physical that gels you together.
I
Excuse
think
me?
it's more. I think it's more than that. I think for me, right, it's intimacy is the word, not just sex, right?
Yeah.
I think because you gotta find a groove with somebody to be able to do things. Whether it's just sitting down, laying down, and you're just hugging. Whether it's just watching something or finding something to do together. I think part of what I value is that quality time, because that ultimately leads to you getting to know each other, and ultimately leads to you finding that chemistry that might lack for a lot of people.
True.
Could be for president. Hey.
2020. He's right there.
Okay, that's another problem with me. Okay, whatever. So I just feel like
Our veterans.
this is a.
I said it's extremely important.
Oh yeah. Listen.
In other words, she gave the Pornhub answer. There we go.
So what's one thing that you don't like about your partner, and how are you able to like work through that?
Oh,
Because
awesome,
I think
Kimmy.
that's an issue with today.
Y'all gonna get me in trouble.
Because I think a lot of times people see something wrong and they ready to run for the hills and they don't want to.
Like, what do you mean by what is wrong with your partner? Like,
something that you don't. No, this is not sexual. Something that's kind of a pet peeve. Something that you don't like about him, and not the question that I asked for the.
Her being late all the time.
Okay.
I'm ready to go. Let's go. How do I get over it? I go sit in the car. That's it. Simple. Let's go. I'm in the car. You know it's time to go now. Let's go.
For me, my wife has expensive taste, so it's just in my best interest to get a better job. Listen, make more money.
So that's how you deal with it.
He said, "Happy wife, happy life."
Happy wife, happy life.
There we go.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on. The newbies have nothing that they dislike about each other.
Whoa, brother! Before you answer that question, remember you just got back off the couch. You just got back to the bedroom last week. Remember, don't. Good answer.
Mike is in her hands.
Go ahead.
Good answer.
Go ahead.
I'm good. You can say whatever.
Good answer.
Go ahead.
No, honestly, quite frankly, I don't have one.
And double good answer. There we go.
Okay.
Oh man, hey.
Where's the violinist that he hired for the proposal? Because I need them right now in the studio. Violinist, where are you? Give him the mic. Come on, give us some meat.
I think the truth about it is, we're still figuring out a lot of things. So it's still. I mean, there's some things that I do. I know that at times that, she says to me, you got to make sure if you say this story is this way, it's got to be this way all the time. So the story can't be inconsistent. Like, you can't, my memory is shot 3/4 of the time. Like, she tells me all the time, you said this last week. Oh, did I? I didn't even remember that. Oh, damn, see? All of a sudden she said, Kimmy, see what you done started? The brother just got back off the couch. Now he's back on the couch. Netflix on the couch, not Netflix in the bedroom.
Amazon,
see what I mean?
Amazon. I got you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, brother, you need the Amazon in the bedroom, not in the bed on the couch.
And that's part.
Good job, Kim.
And that's part of it, right? And the thing for me is one of the most challenging things, and I don't know if you guys can speak to it, is taking constructive criticism from somebody. Right? As a human being, that's probably one of the toughest things.
It is.
But what you have to realize is that the person loves you and they're trying to make you better. Like, you can't take it personal. And I have to admit, when I first started, I did take it personal. But after a while, you realize that they're trying to make you a better person. I'll give a perfect example. When we'd go out to eat, I'd always use my left hand to pick the fork up. Terrible habit that I didn't know I did. I argued to the T that I didn't do it.
My hands.
And then she. Oh,
JK, I'm classy.
Thank you. We was at PG, now we're rated R.
But she pointed it out and said, "Look, I'm just trying to." Like, this is something
tell you the right way to do things, right?
I'll tell you what, I argued to the T until I started paying attention to it. And even now, I'm probably down a significant percent. I'd probably say I only do it 10% of the time.
It's clueless.
Formalities, right? You put your fork in your...
I cut with my right.
I got it.
I'm left-handed.
Right. So, again, for her, it was something that bothered her. And it was a decision that I needed to make. Was I going to be stubborn and stay in my ways, which I could be. Or was I going to change it? And that's part of it, is that it was just constructive. Yeah, it was just constructive criticism. It wasn't, hey, you're inferior. Hey, you're not as good as me. Hey, I'm doing this better. It's just, hey, this bothers me. Can you change it? And that's really what it is.
That's cool. It's all about compromise. I don't have much to compromise on because chicken fingers and French fries don't require a fork at this point.
In some cultures, they do.
Yo, listen. I will. Oh, thank you for my refill.
What about me?
I was getting a little punched. But I definitely agree with Kabir when he says that you have to recognize what place it's coming from. If it's coming from a place of love, and just to take that with a non-combative ear, which I definitely do a lot of. I'm very defensive. But I also think it takes the right person to be wanting to shell out these suggestions and advice and everything like that.
But the other thing is, Kim, you... Also, when you give the criticism back, don't do it in a defensive manner, right? Don't say because you point this out, I'm pointing it. No, that's not tit for tat. She calls it tit for tat.
It is tit for tat, though. It is tit for tat.
But the truth about it is, if you're going to, so the tact that I take is when she points something out, I wait a while before I point something else out about her. So it doesn't seem like I'm coming right back at you, because nobody's perfect. So you gotta.
Damn, that's a good one.
Got to, no, but it's true. Nobody's.
Because I be like, that's the rookie.
That's the rookie. Hey, he done learned a new lesson. He done a lesson.
That's that we about to get married.
I'll be like, see, cause now.
That's that we about to get married.
That's interesting that you
Trevor said that's gonna be out the window in 5.
Right, and I'll be going back right. Well, my socks is on the floor. Well, don't be leaving you to shake the hair in the tub after you shave your legs. What's wrong with you? It's gonna happen. It's just life. Listen, once you grow with someone, all that you eating with your right hand, you eating with your that doesn't matter. That's crazy, man. I'm just going to eat. I'm hungry. What are you talking about? Y'all got listen.
But then the one thing I want to say is also you have to pick your battles. Is that worth an argument? If it bothers her enough that she's pointing it out to you, then maybe you can change it. But you can't change. It's not everything. Like for 15, 17 years, he leaves his socks on the side of the bed. It drives me crazy. Yes, you do.
Oh, my God.
Oh, great.
But, no, seriously.
Good job, Kimmy.
But the one thing,
Good
like
job.
his closet looks like he works in the Gap. Like the side of his closet is perfect. But he leaves his socks on the side of the bed. It drives me crazy. Why can't you just put it in the dirty clothes? But I'm not going to sit there and argue.
Oh, man.
But you see, you got to pick what do you want to argue about. What is it worth? Like, all right, so he leaves his socks on the side of the bed. But he comes home at night. He's honest. He's trustworthy. He pushes. So if he leaves his socks on the bed, let me throw a few socks on the side of the bed to join your socks. Like, you just have to know what's important.
Right.
So
I think that's a good point.
Mike.
I think it is picking your battles, and for me,
Definitely.
I you're not gonna change somebody the way that they've been. It's impossible. You're not gonna get somebody to change their whole entire spectrum of who they are. It's just, and I say that to her. The last time we had a discussion about it, I said, seriously, is it really worth that?
Talk about it.
Come on,
I try to use positive.
Discussion. Hey, married folks don't have discussions.
Y'all have drag out, knockout blows.
But Kabir's ahead of the game, though.
But the truth about it is you can't change everything, right?
Right.
You have to. I think it's very right that you have to pick your battles. And for me, there's some things that just like I say to her, I'm not going in this rat hole with you. You're going by yourself. You don't want to fight for me. You don't want to do this.
Me, I'm petty.
I don't want to argue by myself. So if I'm saying something,
No,
like, give me something to go off
that's
of.
exactly what she says back. That's exactly what she says back. But I think it's a fair point.
So I have one more question for the vets, and then we're gonna go to a break. When we come back from the break, I want a quick game of how well you know your spouse.
Oh, please.
Okay.
She don't know me.
So no, you have to know her. So
Oh, man.
I want to ask the vets. Yes. What do you think the recipe for longevity is?
Patience. A lot of patience.
Okay.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Just to me, it's just patience and being able to give up a little bit of yourself to please somebody. It takes a lot to be with somebody and love them the way, like that's part of you now. It's not just you anymore. You have somebody else you have to consider everything you do. It's not just you anymore. Especially if you throw a kid into the mix. Now it's even less about you and way more about everybody else. Your grind has to be impeccable. You have to be on your P's and Q's. You can't just say, you know what, I'm out. I'm going to the spot. You can't do that. You have to think, take other people's feelings into consideration.
Yeah.
The one thing I wanted to say was that I remember when we were married, and I remember our pastor said this to us, and I hold this 15 years later. A marriage, it will never be 50-50. I think a lot of people go into it thinking that it's always going to be balanced. I'm going to do this, and he's going to do that. And the one thing he said was, sometimes it'll be 70-30, 60-40. Sometimes it's going to get to the point where it's 90-10. You are going to hold the weight. It's not always going to be the man. Sometimes you have to pick him up when he's down. And he can only give you 10%. So you have to step in and give that 90 when it's just, that's what you have to do. And I think a lot of people feel like the day after you get married, what you had yesterday changes tomorrow, and it doesn't. What you go into the marriage with is what your marriage is going to be. So just always remember, and I'll say this to you guys, it will never, ever, ever be 50-50. And if you go in with those expectations, you set yourself up for failure. Somebody is always going to carry more in the end, and you have to be willing to carry more if he can't. And if I can't, you carry the weight for me, because we are a team, and that's what it's all about.
Okay, I like that. You want to add something, Shmo?
I would definitely say love past the flaws. Like we all come with flaws. When you find that person that you can love past their flaws, you found that good and that in sync thing. Always remember to forgive. Life is not promised to you. Don't go to bed angry with one another. Make sure that you get that right before your eyes close. Things like that are really, really important. Don't hold on to things. If you got to hold on to it, then you need to really reevaluate your marriage and what it should be.
Can I say something real quick? Really?
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 Listen, go to bed mad.
No. The real answer just came out.
Whatever.
Do not
cut this fairy tale nonsense out. Let's go WrestleMania.
Do not go to bed mad. Do not.
If I go to bed mad, I don't hate you any less. Sometimes
Of course.
I sleep on this. I don't want to talk to you right now. You don't want to talk to me. And
I definitely don't.
Tomorrow.
Hey,
don't go to bed mad. Where's the Ruger for that? Shoot somebody for that.
Hey, listen. Be clear. Be
Go to
clear.
bed mad. Sometimes you gotta go to bed mad.
Nah, man. Hey, listen.
You know what? Because if that's the case, hold on. If that's the case, then most nights I wouldn't be going to bed. Not most, but you know when we argue.
Listen,
when we have
don't get in
arguments.
trouble, bro.
When we have arguments, we'll be up all damn night. It'll be 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning.
I'm the kind of guy that sit at 3 in the morning and want to talk it out.
I'm going
Listen,
to sleep.
I do not want to go to sleep mad.
15 years. I'm going to sleep, bro.
Well, you know
I'm
what?
going to sleep. I ain't got time for this. We wake up in the morning and continue to have to. I'm going to sleep.
Netflix.
And I ain't sleeping on the couch neither. I'm going in my bed.
We're going on a break.
The brother gotta catch up to a season of Power.
Go to break,
DJ Celsius is gonna play some tunes.
We gotta watch Sports Center.
When we come back, we're gonna have a quick "How well do you know your spouse?" and then we're gonna bring the lovely contestants on for Reem's dating game. Stay tuned.